and he's got a cover version of an Elvis song on History. That's my fact.
Oh.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson is one of those things that that bypassed me almost entirely. And I mean, part of that has to do with the fact that I wasn't particularly cool in the 80s, and that, by the time I was starting to really listen to music, it was, stupid club pop songs and going to Standard 6 dances and trying to make out with girls at the bottom of the garden, none of whom ever made out with me, Ryan. There's no bitterness there. But
did the teachers allow you to walk to the bottom of the garden?
No, I'm saying like we would go to a friend's house and then there'd be a garden, and then they'd have hired
at a social.
They'd have hired Cream Cheese, which was this DJ company, to play all these terrible songs.
Which is another innuendo for semen.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. This one you can get, but hot dog flavored water was too difficult for you to see. I'm outraged. Anyway, so and then they would come and they would play whatever the terrible songs of the day were, and then we would awkwardly hit on the girls who would casually dismiss all of us, or at least those of us who were very bad at hitting on them. Read this guy. and yeah, so I really didn't have any kind of cool music whatsoever until about 96, when I get my first CD player, and I buy Green Day's Dookie and Throwing Copper by Live, which had that song Lightning Crashes on it.
Yes.
So those were my first two like proper, I had some REM on tape, but those were my first two proper CDs.
Oh wow.
And I had the 1996 Grammy Award Award CD,
I had this
which had Joan Osborne and
What If God Was One of Us?
That's right.
Yeah, I think I had the same.
She
CD.
won Newcomer of the Year that year. Snubbing Alanis Morissette, who I'm sure, as you will agree, is infinitely worse than Joan Osborne.
I know. I'm a fan.
No, of course you are. The world is a fan of Alanis Morissette.
Are you a fan?
The world can't remember Joan Osborne. Joan Osborne had the one big hit and then vanished.
Yeah.
But still somehow took home the Grammy that year. If you wanna start looking at the relevance of the Grammys. But anyway, you had a fact somewhere.
yes. So in History, Michael did a cover of an Elvis Presley song.
Right. So yeah, I was trying to explain why I don't know the answer to this instantly, because I don't. I know nothing about Michael Jackson. Other than that, he touched some children.
Allegedly.
I mean, $20 million allegedly, pretty strongly allegedly. What's
Felt sorry for that.
Look, we're already getting sued by Liam Gallagher. Let me just say allegedly. All right, like allegedly touched some children. Let me think about it. Yeah, all right. Why not? He covers an Elvis song, sure.
Well, it was a lie.
Nice lie.
It was a lie. But I don't know if you know, but he bought the rights to the Beatles music.
Yes.
So it's a lie because he covered a Beatles song.
Okay.
And I am always very intrigued by cover versions, and I've learned that the 80s had quite a few. So big songs that I really loved in the 80s were actually cover versions, including Tainted Love, which I love. It's one of my favorite 80s songs. But he covered a Beatles song. Now, this is controversial because the original Beatles song is wonderful. It's one of my favorite Beatles songs. And Michael...
It's Octopus's Garden, isn't it?
That I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus.
Yeah, spot the George Harrison song.
No. So it's one of my favorite Beatles songs because it's very excellent. And I'm telling you, Michael adds something to it and makes it better. That's my controversial statement. It was...
Okay.
Come Together. Michael's version on History.
Of course, if you've just been in court charged with touching little boys, what you want to sing at that point is Come Together. This is a mess, Ryan. What was the man thinking? That is arrogance. That's hubris is what that is. That's hubris. I'm not impressed at all. I'm disgusted by him.
His version's very good, but I don't think it's about anything. I think it was a political song. I
was probably just him enjoying the fact that he owned these songs because Oasis. Yes. Oasis applied for the rights to cover a Beatles song once, and
he said no.
It down. Yeah, he turned it down. Yeah,
no, thank you.
Yeah, and the fact is, he would have made a good deal of money from it.
Yeah, and I know that led to the fallout between Michael and Paul McCartney, who did 2 wonderful songs together. They did "The Girl Is Mine" on Thriller and "Say Say Say," which is on one of Paul's albums. They're both beautiful songs. I love "Say Say Say" very much, very much. And then when Michael phoned him, Paul phoned Michael, said, "Hey, what the fuck, bro?" And he was like, "Hey, man, it's nothing personal. It's just business."
Can you not do a Liverpudlian accent?
Oh, come on then, Michael. What are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Good shot.
Well, Paul, hey, Paul, it's nothing personal. It's just business. And then, well, it's not to me, Michael, you know? He's like,
that was better.
Thank
That was
you.
stronger, yeah.
And then it's like, oh, Paul. And then they didn't really want to speak to him ever again.
All right, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
And did he give the music back to the Beatles at some point?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's some sort of story around that. We probably should know that. I don't know.
Anyway,
I'm sort of sad that I didn't know that.
Yeah, come together. You see how Michael's version. Really, don't think about hubris and stuff. It's a big word. Listen to Michael's version. It's very good. Very good, Michael's version.
I mean, Michael is not. Michael is dead, Ryan. He's not going to come here and give you a prize. He's not going to pay us $660 million a month for the Mona Lisa. He could have paid us $660. He would have come in here and he would have bought that from us right now.
Yeah.
Barent wouldn't have to break our knees.
And he liked South Africa.
Did he?
He wanted to buy that castle in Kailami. Did you ever know that?
I did hear that story. Yeah. So that castle was built by a guy who went to school with me. His dad built that giant. Like monument to waste.
It's now a bit of a boutique hotel or conference center thing.
I don't really know what goes on up there. Probably vampires. Like that's Michael Jackson living in a castle in Kailami. Can you imagine? I mean, really. Man, it's out of a fantasy story. It's crazy. I mean, like somebody's got to write that story, make that movie. Michael Jackson in Kailami.
Yeah, fuck.
Kailami now is becoming, quite built up and quite sort of swanky. But back then, when he was thinking about buying it, it was
just this castle on a hill, and a racetrack, and some horses, there, and then nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm somewhat glad that he didn't buy it. It's be very strange to have Michael Jackson living in a castle on the hill.